Thank you all for coming. It's really nice having you here today. It's always special having people from overseas, you know, it's just something else. I want to introduce Zikona, who's going to be your tour guide today. Zikona's been with the project almost since the beginning. Eh? Yeah. And maybe you can pronounce imizamo the proper way and tell them what it means.
Okay, it means our efforts.
Our efforts. So a lot of work has gone into it. And say it the proper way?
Imizamo yethu.
Imizamo yethu. Yeah. Okay. And it's also called Mandela Park. That's the common name that most people actually refer to it by. And it's Almadiva's birthday today. So when you've all finished, we've got cake. We're going to have some.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we can't. But we've been also, this started off as a literacy project right in the beginning when we just realized that there were so many people who came from the Eastern Cape and they arrived in Cape Town. They had to earn money to send back home, and they really didn't have skills in basic communication. They were all fluent in Xhosa, but they had no English. So we went up to the library there and we did a little marketing in the form of a loudspeaker on the back of a van. We went around with a Xhosa speaking person and said that we were going to start English lessons, who wanted to come. Well, that's what we thought we were saying. But the person who had the loudspeaker said something else, because the next thing we knew, there were a crowd of people running down, all with their ID books in their hands, and the library situated right next door to the ANC office. And it was nearing election times, and they wanted everybody to register. So we were so excited, seeing all the people coming, we thought, yeah, can't believe it. They all wanted to learn English, but they went right past us to the ANC office and did their thing. But we got a few, and that's how it started. And it sort of grew. We had, I don't know, biggish classes from 10 to 15, sometimes 20 people, and we raised a bit of money and we did some outings. We went to Robben Island, we went to the Victoria and Alfred waterfront and the aquarium. Kirstenbosch, we did all the tourist things, which these women had never done before because they just couldn't afford to get round. A lot of them had never seen Table Mountain before, even though they lived here. You know, it's a thing to get a taxi to go to town when you haven't got any money. So then we also began to realize that even though there was a bit of English improvement, there still weren't any jobs. Almost at the moment, apparently, between 20 and 30,000 people live in imizamo yethu. And there just isn't enough work in Hart Bay for everybody to have a job. So we had to think of something. So we went to the Haven Night Shelter in town. And we watched them, and they had this little zinc bar. They filled it with water. They got some old shredded paper from some office that had donated their waste. They tore it up, they stamped it around, made it into a pulp, and then put some dyes in it and made it different colors and had a decal and a mold, very simple. And they made paper, and they showed us. They made lovely invitations and blank paper, and they were doing a good little turnover. And it was very simple, didn't need any money. And that's how we started. The woman said, this is for us, we don't need big premises, we can still work in the library. So we started like that, but then I think we became victims of our own success in a way, because we started having to make too much paper, and when you hang the paper, even though it's been in the press, it all drips. And so the library books started getting wet, and people sitting at the tables were saying, oh, you know, this is a bit grungy. And then we would hang our paper outside if it was a good day, but the wind often came up and then the paper would all fly away, so it became impossible. And then a lady from England came and said, you know, can I help with anything? And I said, sure, that would be nice. She wanted to do literacy, and I said, no, this is bigger. This has got more potential. Rather do something here. So she found her way into some breakfast where somebody said, the United States Ambassadors Fund are looking for projects to support. And so we tried, went for it, and the next thing we got a letter saying, you've got the grant, 70,000 Rand, buy equipment and machinery, but you need a place to store it in. And we didn't have a place. We were working in the library, and, you know, and 2 days later I got a phone call from the lady who's sort of taken over this community centre when it was an old bowling club, and she phoned me and said, I hear you're looking for premises, we've got something for you. So it all fell into place. It was amazing. So we moved here, we got the equipment, and then we started. But we also realized then we were getting beads in from Kailicha, beaders in Kailicha. And so that was our first sort of brainwave. We thought, well, why don't we rather train these women to do beading so that they can do the work, we don't have to bring it in. And that's how we grew, slowly. And, gosh, that's a long story, huh? I think I must finish now. Karen, well, first of all, Fazeka joined us as an administrator. I think you've all met Fazeka. She can't be here today, unfortunately. Her husband got attempted hijacking, shot in the shoulder, so she's with him today. And Karen's not here. She's at a course. She's our manager. So those two people we've got sponsored salaries for. The idea is, which is where Tsiba's come in to help us, is we're really desperately trying to become self-sufficient so we can paddle our own canoe and just do our own thing and not be reliant on anyone for money. And it's taking a little while, but we'll get there in the end. Okay.